What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content daily. We also stream over on Twitch at This Is Aftersound, so come by and say hello. All right, I'm here on Hive Engine, taking a look at some of the prices right before we dive into a little bit of a discussion around where, if I had a hypothetical X amount of dollars, I would put money into Splinterlands. Now, I want to be very clear. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a musician that loves playing NFT games. So take this all with a grain of salt, and you got to do what's best for you. So the thing is, the broader question here really is not where would you spend it, but what do you think is a better investment? SPS, DEC, vouchers, card packs, individual cards, land. There's a lot to be looking at. So it's a hard question to answer. And I would say, flat out, if you want the TLDR, it's going to be SPS. I think that SPS is the main play here and really the only surefire bet. And again, it's crypto, so nothing is surefire. But against everything else, SPS to me is the only surefire bet. But let me go ahead and try and at least talk through each of these that I brought up. And first, so that we can dismiss a couple of them and then dig in to some of the others a little bit more. So with DEC, you know how I feel about DEC. I would never invest in DEC for a price appreciation standpoint. Yes, there is a small window right now, and by small I mean like 5-ish months until the end of the airdrop, where you will be able to hopefully get a decent return. I think the APR is still over 100% on the airdrop. But again, there is significant risk of capital loss or capital reduction because of the fact that you are fighting against the algorithm. And if the team allows this to go back to its peg, then you're going to lose at least, 2/3 of your money, more than two-thirds of your money, as this goes back to 0.001. Now, what's interesting about DEC, and I made a video about this previously or a couple days ago, is I've started accumulating a little bit more, not to necessarily hold long-term or not because I expect the price to go up, but I am kind of interested to see what the team does with DEC in the future. So that's all it is. I personally would not put any money into that though as an investment, right? Yes, again, you can make a ton from the airdrop, and I'm not trying to stop you from that, but just please be aware of the risks. Vouchers, on the other hand, I have no idea. We know that utilities come into vouchers, but I have no idea how to play that. The thing is, the tokenomics behind vouchers doesn't really make it feel like a token. It's just being airdropped at a rate of 20,000 per day. And really, it's driving value to SPS. That is the only thing for vouchers. So at the end of the day, what would I rather be holding, SPS or vouchers? It's got to be SPS. So DEC and vouchers aren't necessarily places that I would park cash or put money into. Now, that being said, if you wanted to buy vouchers because you think there might be some cool stuff coming, and I've posted videos about that and the team has talked about that, then yeah, buy vouchers for that. But if you're expecting some crazy X's from vouchers and for vouchers to go back to like $25, again, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying that I don't see that. And I wouldn't be expecting that if I was buying vouchers for that. I would just be buying vouchers so that I would have access to whatever cool stuff they have coming down the line. So if you don't have any vouchers, then maybe consider getting some. But again, not to buy for an investment standpoint. At least I wouldn't be. Again, need to keep reiterating that this is not an investment standpoint. This is just my opinion on what I would be doing with my hypothetical X $100. Okay, so moving on from there, looking at plots. So obviously you cannot buy a plot anymore. Plots originally were going for $20, and they are now, what is this, 20x? Yeah, 20 more than 20x roughly. They've been hovering around $400. So here's the thing with plots, or land, I should say. It's like having a pack. You could get a totally garbage one, right? And you're going to spend $400 and you may not get one that's good, or who knows what kind of production it will have. So you're rolling the dice. Now, that being said, I do have 2 plots of land, and I would consider maybe getting 1 or 2 more. But for me, it's more so I just want to be part of the ecosystem. I just want to have a plot or 2 plots or maybe a couple plots just so I can feel like I'm part of the ecosystem. But it's not like I'm sitting there saying that, wow, the value of land is going to, 10x and go to 4K, or 20x and go to 8K, whatever the case is. It very well could, but I don't know that. And I think that it's way, way too early to be speculating on land. We just don't know. But again, what would I do if I had the capital? I might buy a plot just to have one, right? Just to have one and just to be part of the ecosystem. Again, if you have more conviction in land and what they're doing, go for it. I personally wouldn't. There's other better plays for me out there. Okay, so that brings us to cards now. Now, there's two ways to look at cards. You can look at buying individual cards, and you can look at buying card packs. Individual cards are interesting to me because individual cards are deflationary. But cards as a whole within Splinterlands is an inflationary asset class. So that is something that I learned along with, the changing game meta after Chaos Legion came out. It's just there will always be more and more and more and more cards. And that's fine because we love it. We want to have new expansions, new abilities, that's what keeps the game fresh and alive. But that always means there's going to be way more cards coming in the future. I mean, look at it this way. We can't sell through the Chaos Legion packs, which is roughly 75 million cards that should be coming in. And there's going to be another 15 million cards that are going to hit the market once Rift Watchers comes out. So if you can understand what I'm saying, like cards as an asset class are very inflationary. Individual cards, though, like a Llama, a Kron, a Jotun, a Lyra, I'm trying to think of some of the new Chaos Legion ones, Queen Mycelia, there will only be X amount of those. So if you were going to invest in certain cards, then I would probably be looking at what are the ones that are going to have some long-term value, what are the ones that are going to be valuable at bronze level, so you don't have to, take on the risk of leveling them up. You'd always be able to rent them out because they have solid value at level 1. But again, that is also subject to meta shifts. So for example, if there's a new summoner that comes out, or let's say Obsidian goes away, or whatever the case is in the new upcoming modern format 2 years from now, that value might go away. Or it might change. The market might reprice itself accordingly. So that's how I view cards as a whole. Now, card packs, specifically Chaos Legion, because those are the only ones that you can still buy at retail value. I know a lot of people are very bullish and a lot of people are hoarding packs. And look, I'm doing that as well. I have some. But part of me looks at this and says, okay, you're buying packs right now for $4. Yes, you could actually buy packs for $3 on the secondary market, and that would, be at almost like a 25% reduction in your purchase price, which means that you get significantly more return if it were to increase in value after packs sold out. But to me, packs aren't going to sell out until much, much later this year, unless something dramatically changes, at which point everybody will be happy because, well, I mean, that would mean that we'd have a huge player base coming in and the prices of all assets should technically go up as demand goes up. But looking at where things are right now, I don't see, Chaos packs selling out in the near future. So even with that, though, I just don't see Chaos packs doing crazy amount of X's. So if we look for Untamed is roughly $42 right now. So Untamed did a, 20x. I think these were selling for $2, so 21x at this point. But keep in mind several things. So Untamed, the power levels in those cards are much higher than they are the collection power, as well as the values of those cards individually are much higher. So therefore, it makes sense for Untamed to be at a much higher price point. For people expecting Chaos Legion to go to $40, it could, but I think that will happen once Rebellion comes out, or whatever happens after Rebellion comes out, and we are on a new expansion with 5 million daily active users, and Chaos Legion with its 15 million packs is a small, tiny number, right, compared to these newer expansions. That is the only time that I would see, Chaos Legion packs really getting that high in value. I think there are a lot of people who potentially over leverage themselves on that first day, buying a bunch of packs, and will be the first ones to try and liquidate once the Chaos packs sell out, and will be the ones selling at $5, $6, $7, $8 and creating that downward pressure, because there's going to be so many packs being held by investors. More than half the packs currently are being held by investors and long-term holders. So I just don't see it going up as quickly, which brings me to SPS, the final thing that I'll be looking at here, the final asset within Splinterlands that I'll be looking at. Now, SPS is down a ton from the all-time high. Actually, I don't know if it's all-time high, but the recent high in October with the announcement of and the pre-sale of Chaos Legion, where we hit, I'm just going to say roughly $1. So that right here is an 8x. From here, we would need to have another 8x. Now, I've talked extensively about why I think SPS is going to stay very stagnant for a while, why there's a lot of downward pressure between now and the end of the airdrop, and potentially even more once ranked battles come through. But at the same time, the team is very, very, very actively working to drive value to SPS, and that to them is one of the most important things in this game. They want people to buy SPS. They want people to stake SPS. And as the player base grows, as everything, the whole ecosystem grows, if there is a higher demand, that is going to push the price of SPS back up. Now, is SPS going to go back up to $1? I don't know. I would like to think so. I would like to think that SPS can go back up to $1. I'm not going to give a time frame because I have no idea. There's too many market forces at play. But the reason that I say that SPS can go back up to $1 is that even fully diluted, and that's going to be in 5 years, right? So in 2026 sometime, once all 3 billion tokens are out, if SPS is $1, this would only be a $3 billion project. And that to me is low considering that other big games like Axie and other, they're all in the tens of billions, at least during their recent highs. So if you believe in this game and if you believe in its longevity and its ability to follow through on its roadmap over the next 5 years and become a very successful game, it doesn't even need to be mainstream, but even if it brings in a very large niche audience of 5-10 million daily active users, that would be tremendous. And I think that would drive a lot of value to SPS. And I think SPS can easily go to $1 in that sense. But again, I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. In fact, I'm not even guaranteeing that it's going to happen. I'm just saying that at a fully diluted market cap, $1 seems relatively low. I don't want to overshoot it and for people to clip me and say, oh, he's expecting, SPS to go to $10 or $20. Look, I would love it. I would be the first one, but I'm not going to try and hype and FOMO you into SPS for that reason. I am trying to tell you that between here and $1, where I think it's reasonable for it to go within the next 5 years, once SPS is fully diluted, that's an 8x. And I don't think looking at a lot of these a lot of these other assets here, yes, some of them may do an 8x, but to me, they are not the most or primary asset within this game that the Splinterlands team is going to be driving value towards, right? The Splinterlands team will continually try to drive as much value as possible, as much utility as possible to SPS over the lifetime of this game. That is the whole point of the governance token. So if that is the case, then I am highly confident, right? I'm not sure, but I'm highly confident that we can get up to our all-time highs and potentially even surpass them at some point in the future. Maybe not this year, maybe not next year, maybe not even within 5 years, but I do believe as a long-term planner, as a long-term holder for this, that we can get up to $1 and probably a lot higher if the rest of the market really starts to pick up. I mean, Axie, I don't want to check it right now, but Axie, I believe, was at like $17 billion, not even fully diluted, right? Axie was at $17 billion currently. So that to me just says we can be way more than a $3 billion game if we're comparing to the other top games around there. And most importantly, if the team continues to deliver and deliver and deliver, as we have seen them do. But again, past performance is not an indication of future performance. So we'll be tracking this obviously as we go along, but that is why to me SPS makes the most sense. My biggest bag, my biggest holdings within Splinterlands is going to be within SPS, and I just want to continue to stack and stake and stack and stake. Now, I am buying cards, but I'm no longer really focusing on cards as an investment or as like the way that I used to call them digital real estate, where I would buy cards and rent them out, because the meta of the game changes too dramatically every single time a new reward card or a new expansion is launched, that I got burned really bad on the last one with Venari Wavesmith and Jin O'Shaughnessy. So moving forward, I am going to buy cards at least until I can get, whatever kind of deck I would like. Right now, obviously, I'm going for a gold level deck. I would ideally like to have a maxed out Chaos Legion deck, and maybe once I have a maxed out Chaos Legion deck, then I can start focusing on buying cards as potential investments, right? But for right now, me investing in cards isn't really from an investment standpoint. It's an investment in my entertainment and how much I enjoy playing the game, not how much I'm trying to, be an asset holder and manager within the card element of this game. So hopefully that makes sense for you guys. Again, I get asked a lot of different questions, and they're always fun to do hypotheticals, and I just thought it'd be fun to explain in detail at least how I view each of these different asset classes. The most common right now is, should I buy packs or should I buy SPS? Again, I think that comes down to personal preference. There is a bonus right now where if you buy packs, you are eligible with each pack to get airdropped, one of these upcoming legendary summoners or legendary cards. So that's a nice thing, and I don't know how to put a value on that, like a tangible value. So, I'm buying packs just because I want to have access to that, but I'm not aping into packs because to me, an 8x on packs, right? So to go from $4 to what, 32, it's possible, but I don't see that being as likely or as definitive as SPS potentially going to that in hopefully a shorter time frame. And I know I'm saying that SPS, it may not happen for another 5 years. And if Chaos Legion sells out this year, then we might see the price rise up on the pack. So yes, I understand. I am probably sounding as though I am contradicting myself in certain ways, but even still, it's too hard to actually think about the timelines on these because the market is too dynamic and too volatile to really like put anything out there. So at the end of the day, I would rather go with the one that I know the team is going to be consistently driving value to, and at the end of the day, that is SPS. All right, that was a lot longer winded than I was planning. Hopefully, though, that gives you a little bit of an insight into how I'm viewing these things and why I think SPS is the biggest and best play here. But again, none of this is financial advice. This is just my own personal opinion. So take it or leave it. And yeah, that's all I have for you in this video. Have an amazing rest of your day. And I will catch you all in the next game. I will catch you all in the next video. And I will see you around the game. Have a great day. Take care.